parchment of the Nile. Dr. Alexander Harlow, a renowned archaeologist known for his unyielding curiosity, was excavating a forgotten temple along the banks of the Nile when he stumbled upon a discovery that would change the course of his life forever. Beneath layers of sand and centuries of neglect, he unearthed an ancient parchment sealed within a pristine, ornate case. As he carefully unrolled the delicate parchment under the soft light of his tent, his eyes widened. The faded hieroglyphs spoke of a secret passage to another dimension, guarded by the gods themselves. Driven by the promise of unparalleled discovery, Alexander devoted himself to deciphering the clues hidden within the ancient text. After months of relentless study, Alexander was convinced that the passage was hidden deep within a cave submerged in the Nile. Assembling a small, loyal team, he set out to locate the cave, battling treacherous waters and dense reeds that seemed to guard the entrance to their destination. Finally, after days of navigating the perilous river, they found it, a yawning maw in the rocky riverbank, almost imperceptible beneath the rushing water. Taking a deep breath, Alexander led his team inside, their torches flickering against the damp, shadowy walls. The cave was a labyrinth of tunnels, each more foreboding than the last. Strange markings adorned the walls, their meaning lost to time, but their ominous presence palpable. As they ventured deeper, an uneasy feeling settled over the group. The air grew colder, and an unnatural silence enveloped them, broken only by the sound of dripping water echoing in the darkness. After hours of winding through the maze-like corridors, they reached a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in the shadows above. In the center stood an ancient stone archway, its surface covered in the same hieroglyphs as the parchment. Alexander's heart pounded with anticipation as he approached the arch, his fingers tracing the intricate carvings. Murmuring a prayer to the gods, he placed the parchment into a slot at the base of the arch. The ground trembled as the symbols began to glow, a blinding light emanating from the portal. With a deep breath and a final glance at his team, Alexander stepped through the archway, crossing the threshold into the unknown. On the other side, he found himself in a world that defied comprehension. The sky was a swirling maelstrom of dark clouds and crimson lightning, casting an eerie glow over the twisted landscape. Trees with gnarled, claw-like branches stretched towards the sky, their roots coiling like serpents around jagged rocks. The air was thick with a suffocating miasma, carrying with it whispers of malevolent intent. Alexander's heart raced as he ventured further, his every step echoing in the unnatural silence. The ground beneath his feet seemed to pulse with a life of its own, each step resonating with a deep, thrumming heartbeat. As he pressed on, he began to notice shadows flitting at the edges of his vision. Dark, formless entities that seemed to follow his every move. Panic began to set in as the whispers grew louder, forming words that chilled him to the bone. "Leave this place," they hissed. "You do not belong here." Ignoring the warnings, Alexander continued his exploration, driven by a morbid curiosity. The further he went, the more the landscape twisted and warped, becoming a grotesque caricature of the world he knew. Structures resembling ancient temples loomed in the distance, their once grand facades now decayed and crumbling. In the heart of this nightmarish realm, he found it, a colossal obsidian monolith, its surface covered in pulsating runes. As he approached, the shadows coalesced into a tangible form, blocking his path. It was a creature of pure darkness, its eyes glowing with an unholy light. "You seek knowledge that is not meant for mortals," it intoned, its voice resonating with a power that shook Alexander to his core. "Turn back, or face the consequences." But Alexander was beyond reason. Driven by an insatiable thirst for discovery, he pressed forward, ignoring the creature's warnings. With a final, defiant step, he reached out and touched the monolith. A surge of power coursed through him, and the world around him exploded in a kaleidoscope of light and sound. When the chaos subsided, he found himself back in the cave, his team staring at him with a mix of awe and fear. But something had changed. The darkness from the other dimension had followed him back, clinging to his very soul. His eyes, once filled with the spark of curiosity, now glowed with an unearthly light. The whispers from the other side echoed in his mind, driving him to the brink of madness. In the days that followed, Alexander became a shadow of his former self. Haunted by the horrors he had witnessed, he withdrew from the world, his once great mind unraveling. The ancient parchment, now a cursed artifact, was sealed away, its secrets too dangerous to ever be revealed. The cave was abandoned, its entrance lost once more to the relentless flow of the Nile. But the whispers never ceased, a constant reminder of the darkness that lay just beyond the veil of reality, waiting for the next curious soul to stumble upon its deadly secret.